I am super stressed. I just discovered something that is not so great, and this could derail everything I have planned. Everything. This could not have come at a worse time. Before I travel, every single time that I go out of town, I do a checklist of things. I make sure that I have new insurance cards. I make sure that I have everything up to date. And one of the things that I randomly somehow just like poofed into my brain, oh, I need to look into this, was my driver's license, because there was this faint memory of thinking that it expired in 2025, but I wasn't sure, and for some reason my mind just glitched, probably amongst all the chaos of all the things that have been happening in my life. And so I just thought, let me check that, because Riley's going to be here literally tomorrow. And we were gonna like hang out for a couple days, but then we were gonna hit the road. So I was like, okay, let me check this just to make sure everything's good, because it would expire while I'm on the road. And obviously, if I'm on the road, I can't just magically go into the DMV, take my new little picture, and then also just hang out until it gets back, meanwhile, in the middle of an adventure. So, this evening, I did the thing where you go into your wallet and you look and just try to bring your brain cells all together, and in doing so, I realized that yes, in fact, my ID does expire in March. So it's not March yet, but I'm going to be gone in March. So I kind of had a little bit of a panic, and I immediately went on to the website for the Texas Department of Transportation and the Department of Public Safety, and looked and typed in all the little numbers that it tells you to do, and in doing so, it showed I am eligible for everything. My license is eligible. The problem is there's no renewal available for me online. So I tried calling the number, because it says that you can do renewals by phone, and it said that my license is not eligible to be renewed by phone. I have to go into the DMV. So it's like 7 o'clock at night. Obviously, I can't go up there right now. So I started just, oh no, what do I do? So I know I'm going to go tomorrow to do that. But in the meantime, I was just trying to get some ideas as to how long this could take, because they don't just issue you a new license at that moment. And it said because Texas is currently backlogged, it could take 2 to 3 weeks. Riley's going to be here tomorrow. So, stress started to set in, obviously, and I had a little bit of a panic. And then I texted my friend and was like, oh no, I don't know what to do. I'm super sorry. And she's very understanding. She had to change her license from one state to the other and understands that there is a lot going on in this world. And so she said that she's able to be super flexible. So my original plans that I had, I can't do, because I won't be in Texas for 2 to 3 more weeks. So tomorrow, I'm going to go get some ideas. Now, when I go get these ideas, I'm going to find out real quick if I'm going to be closer to 2 or 3 weeks by just talking to an actual human. So if it's closer to 3, that's going to really screw some things up, and I don't know what to do. This is completely and totally my problem, and something that I just simply did not think about checking until it was time to get ready, and that is my mistake. But also something I wouldn't have ever thought, because I double check and triple check literally everything. And in fact, that's what made me realize this was an issue, just my little checklist. So tomorrow I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to a real person, and I'm going to bring myself put together so that I can get a new driver's license and do my eye test and whatever else that they have me do. And I'm going to ask them, why couldn't I do this online? And also, how long is this going to take? And based on that, because I have a very understanding friend, I will pivot a bit. I don't know what this is going to look like yet. I just don't. And if I would have known this was going to be a problem, I would have done it long before this point. So, now it's just up to chance. And I don't like that. I like to have all my bases covered, and I'm kind of happy now I didn't call my bank in advance and be like, hey, I'm going out of town. That was on my list of things to do tomorrow. And so yeah, tomorrow's going to be real interesting. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, I'm waking up this morning and really not feeling great. The stress of my ID basically had me thinking all sorts of weird stuff in my sleep, and I had the worst sleep I have had in a long time. It was like one, intrusive nightmare after the next, and I know it's just because I'm stressed, but oh my gosh. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get up. And then I think I'm going to call the DMV. I mean, I might as well call them first, right? I'm just not okay. I went ahead and had another conversation with Riley last night before I went to sleep, because she's been driving to get here, and we found a lot of positives. And I always think that if you find positives in a situation, even if it's a not great situation, that's helpful. So we found positives, but now I have to figure out this really challenging thing, and I am not looking forward to it. So I think I'm going to call them. I'm going to see if I can go up there. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and just get it renewed. And if for some reason there's a reason why I can't, which again, online it said I should be able to, I'll deal with that. But I think just the not knowing is what caused me to have such horrible sleep. I haven't had sleep that weird in a long time. Oh, okay, I can do this. Okay, so this is the most frustrating thing I have probably ever encountered. Before, you could just go to the DPS office, go inside, talk to a human. Now you have to call the DPS office and then go through this system that they have. And in that system, it tells you all these options. And when I went to the driver's license option, it said then I must go online to schedule an appointment. So I went online to schedule an appointment, and it said I needed to call. But when I called back again, thinking, okay, maybe they're having an issue, I went ahead and called, and in doing so, I got to a different option that said, if you're having issues with something online, push this number, and I did. And whenever I pushed the number, it says, now you must submit your questions as an email. How does anything get done in Texas? How? I'm just super confused, because before I could have just either called up to my DPS and said, hey, can I come up there and talk to a person? Or I could have just gone up there and been like, hi, I'm here to renew my license. And then I might have had to sit in a line for a while, but that was okay. But now, according to the state of Texas, I have to make an appointment. And the problem is the website is not working. It just keeps taking me in an endless loop. And I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and take a shower and then go to the DPS and just see if they have any availability. Or just go in there and say, hey, I know I'm not doing this right, but I tried to do it the right way and it's not working. At this point, I'm not super optimistic. I don't understand why, after all of this time, I understood during, the pandemic, whenever they were limiting the people in a space. That totally made sense. I also understand in bigger DMVs that the scheduling system could be handy. But in a small DMV, I just don't get it. Okay, I just talked to my dad, and my dad said that when he had his license renewal, that he had to get an appointment, but there were people at the DMV who did not have appointments and they just had to wait longer. This is a very small DMV, so this isn't like one of the city ones where you sit for like 55 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and take a shower and put myself together so I can take a new picture, which I hate. I never like taking driver's license pictures. And then I'm going to ride to town with my dad because he needs to get a few things in town and I need to get a few things in town because Riley's going to be here. And then I'm just going to deal with it as I can. And if they say, no, sorry, you can't do this, maybe at least they can give me some guidance, because the online site, I went through it like 4 times and I finally got it to like work, but it just popped up appointments that were like after my license has expired. That's not going to work because obviously I can't drive without a license. And I don't want to do that because that seems really bad and dangerous just on so many levels. Number 1, if my license has expired, I could get a ticket. Number 2, if my license has expired, my insurance probably would not want to cover something if something happens. Understandably so. Number 3, if I'm driving around with a license that has expired, guess what? Not the best in any state, not just here. So I just want to get this taken care of. I have until March before my license actually expires, but the fact that they couldn't get me into an appointment until a week after my license expires, all the way in March, like there's a difference between like pandemic guidelines and now. And like, I'm fine with understanding and taking this as like, hey, I messed up and I didn't plan this in advance. But now I know that even if I had planned in advance, I wouldn't have been able to get an appointment until after my license expires. Why? Okay, we're gonna go and try to do this. I have my identification. I have all of the documents that they need. And now we're just gonna try to do a pop-up and see if they'll actually get me in. I have no idea, but crossing my fingers that this works. And then I just have to wait for a bit. Otherwise, I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. We just left the DMV and I have this form I have to fill out now. I have to be back up there at 3:15, but I have to now provide a birth certificate, my social security card, and my existing driver's license, which wasn't the case before. That's fine. That's fine. Not complaining about it, but now I need to go and get my birth certificate because I didn't bring it up here because I've literally never had to have this. This is something that's new in Texas. So if you're out there watching this and you've had any of these issues with getting your driver's license renewed, bring your birth certificate. It's a citizenship proof is what it is, and they have to validate that you're an American citizen and that you have a birth certificate that validates that you are an American citizen. You can also provide a passport, so that's something a little different. I have about 3 hours before that appointment so that I can get a renewal, which makes me happy to know at least I can do that. She had one walk-in appointment available, and so I just scooped that up, but that did save me. She also said at this smaller DMV that one of the things that they're noticing is a lot of people, because everything has gone to the appointment system, is kind of overwhelming, even in the smaller ones, because the people from the Metroplex, which is about an hour to an hour and a half away, are trying to find places that they can go so they don't have to wait forever because, again, the appointment system. So they're coming to smaller DMVs, and as a result of that, people who are from those areas are having a harder time getting those appointments, which is why it was showing so far out. So since that's the case, it makes a little bit more sense, but at the same time it's still frustrating. But I am less frustrated now, at least about that part. Now I just have to go and actually do the stuff, and then afterwards I'm going to be able to just wait it out, and Riley and I will figure out more local adventures. It's fine. It's fine. So along the way, my dad and I stopped at a thrift store because why not? I have a little bit of time before this appointment, and I was kind of browsing through, and I do not know much about these people. I just don't, but the record was in good shape. It was $1, and it looked as though it was going to be kind of interesting. So I thought, okay, I'll pick this up. That way I can play it with my new record player. I'm trying to collect some different kinds of music and introduce myself to different artists, and this one is a jazz record, and so I thought, why not? I love jazz. So I thought, this brings me joy after all the chaos. So even though this doesn't solve all of my issues by any means, this does help a little bit. I'm also going to go ahead and go to the store and pick up a few things for when Riley gets here. I need a few things for food. So I'm just kind of decompressing and unpacking all of this that I've been going through, and yeah, it kind of just is what it is. I've got to be okay with it, you know? So I might as well just lean into it. My dad and I stopped by Walmart. We got some groceries for me and Riley, since clearly I'm going to be here for a bit. And I got some potato wedges. These things are saving my life right now because I'm pretty sure that I was getting very hangry based on this situation. So this has been so helpful. I like to be upbeat. I like to have positive things to say all the time. And just sometimes life just hands you the weird stuff that you don't know what to really do with. And today has definitely been that for me. And it's made me take a step back, take a deep breath, and realize that I can't control some things, and that's okay. And I can just do the best that I can with what I am given in those circumstances, instead of just like, bah! There's no point in all of that. There really isn't. Keeping your mind kind of on the task is the best thing to do, and so that's what I've been doing. I've been corresponding with Riley all day. She's only about 5 hours away at this point, so she'll be here by this evening. So I'm gonna go to this appointment. I'm gonna get this taken care of. I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna decompress, and about the time that I get home to decompress, Riley should be driving up. So super positive, kind of, I think. And I do now realize why I couldn't renew online after looking into this a little bit more, because of the birth certificate where they have to prove your citizenship. If they have not received that, you can't renew online, but it doesn't state that anywhere on the actual portal that you go through. And so I now have all of my things linked on my portal, which is great because I probably needed to do that anyway. So again, looking for the positives. Always try to find the positives, even if they're hard to see. Fortunately, there was this appointment, another positive, and I know where my birth certificate is. So it's not going to be that big of a crisis to have to go and get it. Not to mention, big positive, I'm going to change up my contacts because that's going to help me be able to see a little bit better. I was going to do that this morning, and I was just in such a frazzled mode that I did not. So this will give me an opportunity to do a little bit better on the eye test because, well, tired. And being tired is never good for an eye test. Okay, paperwork is done. Contacts have now been changed, so I can pull my hair back down and go brush it. And I have about, I want to say 40 minutes before my appointment, so it doesn't take me that long to get there, but I am going to arrive a little early just because the appointment itself is at 3:45, but I can be there at 3:15, and realistically, I would like to be in the parking lot before that, just because that way I don't have to worry about the extra variables. I'm trying to do my part. In the meantime, a few things happened. A couple of packages arrived for Riley. She had them shipped here because originally we were just gonna have her get here and then we were gonna take off. Tyson's little harness that she left here after Van Miss is over here also, so this is all set up. And overall, I didn't get everything finished that I wanted to have done before Riley arrived, but now I have plenty of time to get it done because I'm going to be sitting and waiting in Texas until my license arrives. Some things you just cannot even begin to fathom are even possible. And so today's kind of been an extension of that. It started yesterday, it moved into today. All in all, though, very happy that this is something that is getting taken care of. And, you know, it just kind of goes to show that as things change, kind of, even when you're used to doing things a certain way, sometimes you have to pivot. And that is what's happened here. Yeah, new rules, new regulations, new ways of doing things. And you know, they always say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, I'm a pretty old person, and guess what? I learned something new today. And instead of just being like, bah! It made sense once I actually had it explained. But at the same time, can we not just do a little bit better on the website, Texas? Just a little bit, just to kind of explain to people that they're not crazy, that this isn't, you know, something that's always been. It's something that is new. And yeah. In the meantime, today I tested out my new makeup kit to see if I had everything that I needed in it and if it was going to be manageable on the road, because I moved everything into here and this worked out so well. So I'm very excited. Now I can put this into the van and have it just kind of live there. Although I might keep it out so that I can put makeup on over the next few days also if I do other things. But yeah, this is definitely good. And I have been working on the van, so it's starting to come together. The bed fits in there nicely. I downsized to the pillows. I do still have to have a body pillow, obviously, before I travel, but everything fits. So now all I need to do is finish filling in the shelf with like my clothes, and I've already put jackets up and everything. I have one little tiny shelf to put over on this side. And then of course, this is where my makeup will go. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish filling the other pouches and then figure out how I want to store these things. Right now, they're just all placed there, but they will be more organized than they are currently. But I'm in a pretty good place. Like, I was hoping to finish this up today and then we'd be ready to go. But, you know, life happens. Sometimes life hands you the lemons and you have to learn to make lemonade. And that's what I'm going to be doing. Was I hoping that I could have all this done before Rayleigh got here? Yeah, I was. Is it going to work out that way? No, it's not. So it's okay though. And I think that that's one of the things, is learning to communicate with the people that you're traveling with. And we've definitely had a good line of communication, which I think is nice. So thank goodness for good friends. I might also in the future, before we take off, kind of sit down and coordinate with her and do a video kind of what we do to prepare to travel together, because a lot of people have been asking from our previous trips kind of some questions that are good things to know if you're traveling with other people. So I'll probably do that sometime within the next week or so you guys can kind of see some of the cool stuff we've been working on to kind of make it easier. And yeah, we'll share some tips there. But for now, I am about to get my stuff together and go back to the DMV. Okay, so I'm off, and a good thing about doing this is that I can test to see if anything rattles, shakes, moves, falls, anything like that while I'm driving on the open road. I'd rather do that here while I am close to my base camp and can fix it, versus when I'm on the open road and all of a sudden it just sounds like poof, poof, poof. So again, we're finding the positives, because every day, even whenever it has challenges, always has some kind of positive, even if it might not be the one we're expecting. And so I wasn't going to do this for a couple days. So I was going to do it like the day before we take off. But now I'm getting to test it out early. In the meantime, I definitely hear something rattling. I think it's one of my little hooks. Something else just made a noise. I think it was a magnet. I'm not sure if it's a magnet that was holding something up or not. Looks like the pillows are also falling. Okay, I made it. Now you guys definitely can't come in for this because I don't think allow any kind of filming inside. So I'm just gonna go get this taken care of and hope for the best, and hope that my eyes are not so tired now that they can't see. Because who knows? I even wore my sunglasses to kind of help them out just a little bit because the glare is pretty bad. And that does hurt my eyes considerably. With all the stress, my eyes are very strained right now. And normally, if I'm in this particular situation, that's whenever I just go do an adventure or something like that I don't have to really worry too much. I don't drive a ton during the weird times when my eyes are strained. I just don't like to make that a habit because it can cause headaches and stuff like that. So I just don't, but it is what it is today. We get to do an eye test with strained eyes, and you know what though? I'm really happy because we got the appointment. But I'm gonna go inside because it is now officially time. Okay, I got it. It's done. My driver's license is now renewed, but now I have to wait for it to come in. She said it could be 2 to 3 weeks, probably closer to 2. So now I can breathe. That wasn't terrible. My eyes were very tired though, and I did have to put in eye drops because my eyes are stressed. But now I shouldn't be as stressed. So I'm going to go back to my house. I'm going to await Riley's arrival, and well, we have learned some lessons today, guys. So now I have to keep up with this piece of paper, but that's going to renew my license until 2032, at which time, unless they have changed another rule, which probably will happen, I should be able to do my auto renewal online as opposed to in person. But again, it probably will change by then. That is a long time. So I think what I'm going to do for the time being is just put this up here with my insurance card, and that way it's always here, and that way I should be good. My current driver's license is still good until March, so if I do need a physical ID, I have it. I don't think I will because I don't usually do anything that requires one, but okay, I still have that. And until then, I think, again, these two things right here are just going to go right up here. It kind of got bent. Oh well. But remember, guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. Life is pretty stressful sometimes, but I'm really happy that I took a deep breath, gave it a shot just coming up here, learned a little bit as to why, and then also in the meantime, I found the positives. There's always positives.